All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video down here in sunny Florida. Now, before we go any further, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button on this video. Really help out. I'm really making a push now to grow the channel and start making this thing bigger and be able to do more projects with you guys. So, starting off, first drift event is coming up down here in Florida with this thing, and it's technically not my first. Back in 2017 we came down and drove OSW, but I was still a learning driver back then. This car was still pretty mediocre when it came to setup. I had like no steering angle, the whole nine. Car is 1,000 times better than what it was back then, but I want to show you off, start off by showing you guys this little piece that I got from my buddy Andrew. It's a mount for the GoPro that will rotate with the car. Now, as my GoPro is currently on this mount right here, the GoPro goes right here, and then there's a little flagpole here. The flag is sitting over there. I'll pop that on in a couple seconds. And basically it has a magnet mount that goes to the top of the car, and this thing will be able to get some sweet footage this weekend at the track. I'll be testing it out for him to make sure everything works with it. All right, so this is what the flag looks like after I added some neon yellow paint. I just did a straight line across it, so when it's on an angle, it'll kind of be angled up. Just, you know, a little bit of an identifying feature to match the car here. So I'm gonna need two hands to do this, but I'm gonna press this on and get it situated on the rod. And just like that, we have the flag. So this thing will be mounted on top of the car for the drift event this weekend, and it should be pretty cool. I'm excited to see what kind of footage it gets for me, and you guys will see very shortly after that. So I have a pretty lengthy list of things that I need to get started on. Today is Wednesday, and the drift event is Saturday. Now, it is a 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. event because down here in Florida it gets hot. So it's gonna be hot on Saturday as expected, and drifting into the night. Once 7 p.m. hits, that's when like it really starts to cool down once the sun starts setting. So first off is adding a new water pouch. Dang, you're blowing up my video. What's up? In addition to the water pouch, I gotta do the basics. I got some distilled water here, so we're gonna be draining the antifreeze out of that car because we're at a place where we no longer need that. And then I got some water wetter that I'm gonna be adding. I'm gonna do the usual transfer case top off with some heavyweight shockproof, and then just make sure the oil level is good with some Redline 2050. And then we should be pretty much all set. I think that was it that I wanted to do. I made a list, but we're off to a good start. Tire wise, you know, I got leftovers from US Drift. I got my Kenda Kaiser fronts, and just leftovers from US Drift. I got a brand new set over there that's gonna be coming with as well. So I really don't want to, but I guess it's time to get started. All right, so I'm under the car here, and I'm just gonna go over the common loosening points, you could say, which would be my axle bolts, which I think are they're either a 14, okay, maybe they're a 15. Yes, my axle bolts, which, as you can see, this one is spinning, this one is spinning, so they got a little loose as time went on. So I think the front sides are 17s. Let's see if I'm correct in guessing that. Yep, front sides are 17s. So basically just gonna hold this here, hit my 15, and snug these guys up a bit. They're really not that loose. Like, I didn't hear any banging around, so just give them a little snug up. But then I really want to also check my drive shaft bolts, which are on the front side of the diff. You can see my drive shaft is the gold piece coming down there, and it goes into the front of my differential, which right here, they actually feel loose or tight, which is good. So now that the rear end is all tight and good. I don't have to worry about anything, you know, popping up there. I have a bigger issue that I need to tend to. And this issue involves the fuel system. So it seems as if a fitting in my fuel cell that is for the feed line seems to have come loose within the cell itself. So what I'm gonna end up doing, and I hope this works, is pulling this top off, reaching into the cell, and then trying to get this thing tightened back up. But I think what I'm gonna have to do, well, I know I'm gonna have to drain some fuel out of the cell. So I think what I'm gonna do is disconnect the return line that comes from my surge tank and put that into my VP jug down there. I'll kick on the pumps, and I think it should pull into the surge tank and just return out into my 5-gallon VP jug. So I'm gonna try and loosen this guy up. And this one's spinning too, so maybe they all just need to be snugged up. I mean, it's been a while since I messed with these, but a couple adjustables, and it's not too bad. And having the AC in here is so nice. It's like 95 degrees, that's somewhere around there right now. It's 84 in here, and it's not super humid in here either, which makes working a lot nicer. You know, basically, if you can get that thing fired up in the morning before the sun really starts beating down, you're in good shape for the day. All right, so I got my return hose down there. I'm gonna go over here and kick on the fuel pump and see if it works for what I need it to do. Hopefully without making a huge mess. Oh yeah. Got a good flow down to the tank. And that'll hold a little closer to 6 gallons to the top. So I'll just let this keep running until it sounds like it's starting to starve itself for fuel. So I got this out here on the other side where that vent is. You have the little ball valve in there, and that's a rollover valve. So if you do roll over, your fuel's not just gonna start pouring out of your vent. And then we got this guy right here that's supposed to be a rollover valve for the fill plug, but she's a little beat. So in here, I stuffed this thing. This Jazz fuel cell did not come with fuel cell foam. So I stuffed this thing with foam a while back. It is Speedway Motors foam, and it seems like it's all still in good shape. It's not like, you know, falling apart on its own. And it's packed pretty tightly in here, but I was still getting some slosh issues when the tank would get low, so that's why I went with that fuel cell or surge tank. So if I reach my hand down in here, you guys can't see, but I feel a loose fitting. So basically what I'll have to do is get my, ooh, it's wet down here. Did I get all the fuel? Well, there's still a little bit at the bottom of the tank. And my pickup is down in this corner. Okay. Oh God, my hands are gonna smell. So I gotta get an adjustable in here. Hold that tight and then crank down on there. And then let's see about on this side. Nah, we're still tight on this side. Okay. So I got a hand covered in gasoline, and my lunch break for work is over. This is one of the convenient things of working from home. My lunch break from work is just about over, so I'm gonna jump back into this after work, and we'll be able to get this leak situated, and we'll have no more fuel smell and be less dangerous when on track. It would be irresponsible of me to let this keep going, because when I fill the tank up, it comes out and there's fuel vapors, and that's what's explosive. It's by the exhaust, all that, and you want a completely sealed system. All right guys, so it's day 2, we're back here. I got this all buttoned up. I reached my hand through here, simply just got a adjustable crescent wrench here on the inside, one on the outside, tightened it down, got that line all tightened back up, got this guy back on. I also put a little silicone lubricant on the rubber gasket here, just to make twisting this on and off a little easier. And then we're all hooked back up. Return line's hooked back up. I just got to dump the fuel back into it, and I also cleaned it. I just hit everything here with a little spray detailer and wiped it over. Cleaned it up for enough for the bent up mess that it is. But we're ready to go back here for the drift event. No fuel leaks or anything like that. The rear end is all nut and bolted. So now I'm going to be moving to the front end. Now up here, what I need to do is change my coolant with water and water wetter. So I'm going to do that first and let it bleed out, and then I'm also going to have to jack the front of the car up and top off my transfer case because it leaks. Mainly it leaks on the highway and when it's cold, but it's a whole other mess. I have another transfer case up there on the shelf that needs to get sent out to get rebuilt, and then I'm just gonna go across while the car's up in the air, probably just bleed the power steering again, make sure we're good there for fluid, and I think otherwise we are in good shape. I mean, I drove the car 130 miles, about 130 miles last week, and it was fine. Everything was good. So just gonna do some preventative checks, and it looks like our drift event prep is good. I also got to swap my front. My Kenda's back on the front. I got the rears on here. Those tires are some crosswinds, what was left from US Drift. So I'm gonna start with those. And then I have these guys that are brand new, same tire. They're not bad. And then those are my Kendas that are going on the front. I have the tire sprayers, and the tire sprayers I'm gonna try and make sure that I use in between runs at this track, because obviously it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be like 92 degrees ambient. Track temps are probably gonna be, you know, well over like 130 degrees, 140 degrees. So I'm gonna bring plenty of jugs of water. I actually have 2 gallons that are filled of just like sink water, and keep this guy topped off so that I can continue to use my, oh yeah, look at that, we're low, we're only at a quarter tank. But I can continue to use my water sprayers to help maximize my tire life and you know, get the most out of them. So I'm gonna get started on the coolant and start getting that water put in here. So now that the car is running and it's filled with water and water wetter, I'm gonna let it get up to temp and bleed the cooling system. Just making sure back here though, which looks good. We don't have any leaks. I mean, we didn't touch any of that stuff, but we're done with the fuel system. Now it's just a matter of letting this bleed out, and then we'll move on to the transfer case. So guys, more in terms of prep. It is drift day and I'm finishing up my prep. It's a night event, so I won't have to be at the track until 7 p.m. So we have plenty of time to finish getting ready. I just checked over all the tire pressures on the trailer because it's been about 3 months since I've used this and it's been sitting up there in the yard. So check the tire pressures. I lubed the hitch ball and made sure everything was good. I do want to bleed the front brakes on the truck because I did do a full brake replacement, hydro booster replacement on that. So I'll bring that all into the driveway and I'll bleed the front brakes from the truck one last time. And then I have my generator here running. It was just recently rebuilt, but it hasn't ran in a while, so I'm gonna let it run for a bit, get some fresh oil in it, and then this will be good to take to the track as well. Car is ready. Transfer case is all topped off. I got my front tires swapped on to the Kendas, and we should be good to go. So now it's just a matter of starting to get everything packed up and getting ready to head to the track. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. We had the fuel system fixed, checked off all the fluids, got this thing all loaded up. All this stuff's gonna go in the truck. Car's gonna go on the trailer, and then we're gonna head to the drift event. So stay tuned. Showtime Speedway, first time drifting in Florida since 2017. New track for me. Hope everything goes well. Car set up great. It's ready to rip, and stay tuned. We'll see you in the next one, guys.